and welcome to the Historical Commission meeting for June 20th at 6:30. It's now around 6:40, so you can put time of meeting 6:40. Okay, may I have a motion to open the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, let's stand for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right. Now we can look over the last month's minutes and see if there's any corrections. Okay. May I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Okay, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so they're approved. Okay, yeah, we definitely need a new secretary. Eric sent in the letter of resignation due to his health issues. You can look it over if you like. He also sent one into the town. We will have the new gate at the Quaker Meeting House is going to be installed next Wednesday, the 28th of June. They already called me and to tell me that it's going in. And that gate should be really nice because it's going to be the anchor, black, and it's going to open out this way. So you can open it from the middle out and then drive through. And it's not going to have a lock and key on it because I'd have to pass a dozen keys out in the town.
Right.
So we're not going to have a key on it. It's going to have some kind of a mechanism to lock it or close it. Okay, and
You said next Wednesday?
next Wednesday, June 28th. Okay, we need to discuss ideas of what our plans are next for our historical buildings to use CPC funds. We have Kathy Murray here from the CPC as our guest this evening. So Kathy, you're going to fill us in on some information, I hope.
Should I go recording?
You can.
All right, well, thank you for letting me come in here and chat. So how this all started is I work for another municipality and they just got the CPC. And I work in the planning department, I'm an assistant for the planners, so we've kind of learning about CPC like from the ground up. So I'm trying to take everything I've learned at my full-time job to my own town because CPC, the committee, kind of fallen out to the wayside, you know, the last few years. It
Yes.
hasn't been real active, it hasn't really been kind of adhering to its mission, so we're trying to kind of get it going again.
Good.
So I'm sorry I was not at my job today, so I don't have access to a printer. I had printed some things out.
Okay.
But I just kind of wanted to, I don't know if you have newer members that aren't aware of like what the CPC does or.
Richard is our newest member, so he may need to be filled in a little bit more about it. I'm the one that usually goes to CPC for money, so
Right.
everybody knows my face.
What does CPC stand for?
Community Preservation
Committee.
Committee.
So the Community Preservation Act is what allows the town, which was passed by the residents of the town, that they have a surcharge taken out of their taxes every year. It goes into a special fund. That fund is able to be used for historical projects, open space, recreation, and housing.
And that's on the tax bill?
That's on the
Yes, it comes out of there. It's like a surcharge. And that is matched by the state. The percentage changes every year depending on what the state revenue is. So that will change, but there is a state match. I'm not quite sure of it. I think it was 34% last year, but I couldn't say that for sure.
I don't know.
So,
I know I go ask for money.
yeah. So if, like I said, it fluctuates, but there's always something there from the state.
Mhm.
So I looked up the historical again, so I could just run down exactly what it allows historical to do, which is buildings, structures, vessels, real property, documents, or artifacts. And that is determined by being on the state register of historic places or determined by you guys, the Historic Commission. So, and for this, it would have to be significant to the history, the archaeology, the architecture, or the culture of Acushnet.
Mhm.
So things that you can do with CPC is acquire historic properties by gift, purchase, or by grant. That's another thing. I know there's a lot of historical grants sometimes available, and they're always looking for a match. So that would be a great thing to have a CPC. If you could get a grant, if you get funding from CPC, then if you apply for a grant, then you have those matching funds.
Okay.
Right now, I don't know, because the town doesn't have an active, an up-to-date master plan. I'm not sure on historical. I know like for open space, because they don't have an open space plan, they're not available for any grant funding right now. So hopefully when the planner comes in, the town can start to roll again. Anyways, so another thing you can get funding for is to preserve historic things. And the last one is for rehab or restore. So for that, it's capital improvements or the repairs for the purpose of making the resource, so the building or whatever it is, functional for its intended use, including, but not limited to, improvements to comply with ADA, MAB, which I'm not sure what that was, other federal, state, local regs or access codes or federal standards for historic properties.
Is there a way to get a copy of what you just said?
Yes, I definitely will print this up. I will email
Email
it
it
to
to me,
Pauline.
I'll make copies.
I apologize.
That's okay, thank you.
So our goal for CPC is we're trying to write a CPC plan. We're going to try it. If it gets to be too complicated, we will get outside resources. But for now, we're kind of trying to put some things together. And one thing's because historical is such a big portion of it, the things that we're looking for from the Historical Commission is your historic preservation goals. So sometimes that comes from like the master plan goals. I did look up the master plan, so I don't know if you would also, because I can print that out for you as well, if you would want to look through that and see if you've achieved any of those, if there are other things you'd like to do, if there's things on there that you'd say, yeah, I would really like to get back onto that. And I'm just going to read you a few now. This is, so in my municipality, we did write the plan. These were their goals, just to kind of give you an idea. So they wanted to recognize, preserve, and enhance the historic heritage of Acushnet, preserve and or restore properties of historic, architectural, archaeological, and cultural significance to Acushnet. The next one was preserve and protect the remaining historic character of Acushnet, including houses, barns, outbuildings, churches, cemeteries, monuments, stone walls, and scenic roadways. And the last one that they had was to update and maintain the historic asset survey forms.
Here's my my Perry Hill Church.
So,
I have, since 2011, have been working on Perry Hill Church, and I'm getting totally nowhere.
right, I know that.
Nowhere. We've got money in the account right now that can't be used for nothing but repairs.
Right.
And all the repairs that are needed are 3 times that amount of money. That really makes me upset. Really makes me upset. Because the meeting house, we've kept on top of it. The museum, each year I try to ask for something, like this year was the fence. And I'm gonna go ahead and put a call into them after July 1st so they can get that fence up before Apple Peach,
Right.
you know? But I mean, we've got new windows on that building. You know, the furnace was updated some years ago, but we had new oil tanks put in. So we really have taken care of that building.
Right.
In fact, the insurance adjuster for the town buildings went in last week to check the museum out, and I was working, so my husband took him in. And he could not believe the condition of that building. He was like, my husband said, he just kept going on and on and on, how clean it was, how neat it was. And he checked the furnace, he checked that new unit of hot water that we have on the wall, put that in last year. Checked out everything, the alarm system, the electric. The electric, we have that huge box, which is way more than what we need, but we had that redone.
Well, you've got the kitchen down there, so
We got the
sure.
kitchen, and everything's electric because there is no gas
Right.
out there and nothing. You know, and we got the well water. But he was very impressed with that building. I told Mr. Kelly, I said he was so impressed with that museum. I said, well, we try to take good care of it, that's for sure.
So, I mean, and this is why CPC is there, so we can have those buildings for generations to come. And you're not, well, it does, in a sense, it comes from the taxpayer, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like, you have this huge budget, because obviously I know your budget's pretty small. So,
Yeah.
you know, if you have a project, you should always run it by CPC first to see if it will qualify. Because like I said, I was kind of surprised when I read that, and it's saying capital improvements or repairs for the purpose of making it functional. So like the bathroom, that could have been a CPC thing, because you have to have a bathroom to have a functional building.
Well, I went to CPC for the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I asked for money, what was the exact wording now? Oh, that I went this year for, the flooring, that's what it
Oh, I'm
was.
talking about like the Long Plain Museum, things like that.
Yeah, the museum, I mean, we've kept on top of it over the years, so, I mean, it needs painting inside, I need ceilings that need to be done, so that might be my next project. There's 2 rooms that the ceilings are really, really bad peeling.
Yes.
And of course, the walls painted. We've done the bathrooms, the back hallway, all that has been done. That was all done over, in fact, we just bought a toilet for the men's room
Is this
and had to
from
put a new
Long
toilet.
Plain Museum you're talking
Long
about?
Plain Museum. We just put a new toilet in. And, let me think.
The old horse troughs are gone?
No, that's still there.
Okay.
It's still there. I wish it was functional like the one on,
No,
Mendel
please.
yeah.
They remind me of Fenway Park, the old Fenway Park.
Really?
When we used to go in there and pee against the wall.
Oh, you're talking about the men's room?
Yes.
Yeah, that's still in there, functioning.
It's functioning.
It's
Okay.
functioning. You just gotta turn the water on and let the water run,
Yes.
I
I should hope so.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, we've got a few more things. Each year I try to think
Right,
of
right.
things that we need to do, The meeting house, like I said,
So like, these are things
pretty
that
good.
you can put into the plan. So
Mhm.
this is what you want to do, and hopefully then this CPC will be able to help you with
Yeah.
that. So what I'd like to do is those 4 goals that were in the plan that we just completed, and the
Yep.
goals that are in the 2008 master plan, send those to you,
Mhm.
look through them,
Okay,
decide if you like them, like if you want to change them, if you want to update them, and then, what you decide that you want, then we can put that into the plan.
Now, question, can we use CPC funds to put the Perry Hill Church on the National Register?
I would have to do some research. I'm not sure on that.
I can't see the funds that we have in the account for Perry Hill. I've asked Finance and Mr. Kelly, and they've gone over the paperwork, and it's strictly the funds those funds are strictly there for repairs on the interior. But that's $38,000.
Oh, I see. Oh, that, no, because the way the article was set up, it
Yeah.
was just for that.
Yeah.
I thought you meant, can you get funds
Can I get,
to
say,
do that?
well, because we need to hire a preservationist,
Yep.
okay? Would we be able to go to CPC and get, say, $10,000-$12,000 for them to do the? all
So
the-
that also, I would have to look if that would be qualify.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, like I said, I'm learning this too.
Yep, yep,
But I can definitely look into that.
because that would be a possibility. If we could get it on the National Register, then we could apply for grants.
Right.
Right now, we can't apply for any grants because it's not on the register.
So yeah, I can see if that qualifies.
Yeah.
The next thing I'd like to ask you, is there a member from Historical that is on CPC? Because on the website it says Lori Bates.
Laurie Bates, she never comes to our meetings. And I called her tonight and she's sick with a stomach bug.
Okay.
But she's never, she signed up, she's been sworn in. I just talked to Pam, but she hasn't attended any meetings.
Okay. All right.
She's on CPC?
Yeah, that's what it said, which I didn't, I thought it was,
That had to be before when she
A
was.
long time ago,
Yeah.
I
because I
thought it
don't
was
think-
Mr. Gilmore that was on here.
Oh my God. Yeah, Robbie Gilmore was on CPC, but you can't even find him. You call his phone, he never answers, so.
So I don't
Unfortunately.
know if you could get maybe in touch with her if someone else might want to volunteer for that, because you know, that's why it's like a member from, you know, historical. It's supposed to be open space conservation, because the funding goes to all those different, can go to all those departments. So if you're on the committee, it's, you know, pretty helpful, because
So you mean if we were on the committee? We
yeah, there's
could-
supposed to be a rep from historical on
Historical.
there attending
Yeah,
the
I
meetings.
remember when Joyce Reynolds was on. Yeah, Joyce was on years ago.
So that's just something to think about. I'm throwing that out there. And the last thing I think I have is part of our plan is we have to do a survey. So we would have to, you know, go out and survey the residents about different things, what they'd like to see historical, what they'd like to see for open space recreation. And I thought a really good place to do that would be at the Apple Peach Festival, because where are you going to find more residents at one
Oh,
time?
yeah, they're all
So
there.
I was going to ask you if that is something that we could do. You know, set up a table there and distribute some surveys and.
Right, just to find out how the community feels about just replacing, I mean, bringing up historical buildings.
Just how it feels about the different aspects of the CPC, in the CPC. So
The CPC.
historical, it's like open space and recreation, housing, and what's the last one?
I know. You can't think of them all.
Yeah, it's housing, historic, open space, and rec. That's what it is.
Yeah, open space. Mm.
Well, the Apple Peach, she'd have to check with Tom Fortin. She'd have to check with the committee
Oh, okay.
Well,
to have a table, I would think, no?
no, what we usually do, if somebody wants to set a table like that, we let them set up near our patio,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
then
that
nobody
would
can
be
say anything.
More
We sell the
appropriate,
book.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah, because if you go to the committee, they're liable to charge you. We don't charge you.
Okay.
No, because you could set up a table right there. I know one year, what's his name? Oh my goodness. He's on the assessors. And I can't think of his name
So
right
you
now.
set up a booth, you mean, at
Yeah.
the,
A table
Apple
with
Peach?
passing out flyers or whatever.
so you'd have to have flyers printed up,
Yes.
right? And pass them out, and how would we get them back? I mean,
Well-
people ain't gonna sit down and do the survey right there.
Would it be
They might.
papers or would it
Well,
actually be
I'd have to
flyers?
do a little more, obviously, a little more research. I'm just trying to get the spot where I think I can, you know,
Yep.
we can get a lot distributed. I mean, there's different surveys that you can do online, like Survey Monkey, so I could look into that. also, so you could give them the card and say, go here. If they had computer access, they could do it online. We had people just mail it into the office, so they could have like a P.O. box just for CPC, and they could mail them in if they chose to, or they could do it there. I'm gonna try to keep it brief, you know, there'll be like maybe 5 questions or so for each category.
What
So they-
questions like, you mean, would you approve of additional taxes to your tax bill?
Oh, no, nothing to do with
No.
additional taxes.
No.
This is, how would you like to see your funds used? Would you like to see, you know, I don't know what you do, all the historic buildings in Acushnet upgraded? Would you like to see the cemetery, you know, the historic cemeteries? You know, open space, it might say like, would you like to, you know, have more open space, and what part of town would you like to see that? Things like that. And that's another thing I can email you. I can email you the questions that we used on our survey.
Mhm.
And, you know, you guys can discuss it if there's things, you know, because like I said, that wasn't set up for this community. So how you can tweak it so it shows Acushnet.
Yeah, but still, I think the biggest problem would be getting reply. In other words, if the person doesn't sit down right there and do it, and they stick the paper in their pocket, you're never gonna get them back.
Well,
Well,
I mean, that's the chance you take, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if it's something you could add to the Acushnet page.
Well, like I said, if I can get that survey monkey, but I still, we're in the beginning stages, so,
Yeah.
you know, figure this out, and then I can kind of go further from there. That's all.
problem is, what type of age groups are you gonna have taking the survey? Especially at Apple Peach.
I don't think that really matters, does
We
it?
got a mixture.
Well,
Yeah.
well, there's all age,
As long as you're a
ages
town-
paying taxes.
as long
It
as
would
you
have to
fit-
be a town resident
Right.
anyways.
Yeah, you gotta be a
Right,
town
exactly.
resident,
They
and you
would have
gotta
to
own
be.
property,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And-
Because it's coming out
Yeah,
of your tax bill.
Well, I'm sure to enter this, do the survey, you're gonna need to be a town resident,
Yes,
taxpayer, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's be stipulations to fill out the survey.
town resident, of
Well, I
course.
think taxpayer more so than resident, because just because you're a resident doesn't mean you're paying taxes here.
Mm.
So in other words, the money that's being used to fix these properties is coming out onto your tax bill.
If you wanna fine tune it, yes, yeah.
It's not that much money though. If you ever look at your tax
Well,
bill.
it's just like PACE, you've heard of PACE
Mm-hmm.
and Citizens for Citizens?
Yep.
All right, they have a surcharge on your gas bill of $10 a month.
Mm.
Everybody that uses gas
I don't.
pays an extra $10 a month,
Mm-hmm.
and this goes into a fund. Now, where my wife and I are living on Social Security, my home was insulated for free.
Mm.
Okay, this did when we first moved back here. Now, Thursday and Friday, they're coming up to put a brand new furnace in my house.
You're kidding.
No, and the insulation bill was $11,000. Didn't cost us a dime.
Wow.
And this furnace is about $7,000, and that's not costing us anything either.
Oh, wow.
So what I'm saying is, the people that are going to take a survey, if they understand that their money is going towards a certain, you know, building to maintain Acushnet's heritage,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? Then I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But it has to be somebody who's paying, you know, somebody whose money is coming out of their pocket for this.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah. Hmm.
Right. And like I said, we're trying to kind of get excitement for CPC again. It's like the only committee in town where you get to spend money. So it just explain, because it's been quite several years since it was first passed, and I don't think a lot of people really understand it.
No, they don't.
how
So-
many people do you have on your committee now?
Well, it's a 9-member committee. I couldn't tell you exactly. I think we have 5 active
I think
members
it's
right
5,
now.
yeah.
And they're the ones who make the decisions.
When you go before CPC with, you're asking money for certain items, they're the ones that make the decision. They've been good with me. The only thing I have to complain about is Perry Hill Church.
That's a
That is
white elephant.
my downfall.
It's,
No. The Boy Scouts, I don't know if you're familiar with it on the corner of Mendel Road and Perry Hill Road? That 1 acre lot, the Boy Scouts cleaned it all out.
Oh, yeah, I drove by there.
Did you drove by
I
there?
did, yeah.
It looks so
Very
nice.
nice.
Different flowers are blooming, different trees are blooming. It looks so nice over there now.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I have, so I'm just gonna wrap it up by saying I will email you
Yeah,
the historic goals that were in our report,
okay.
the master plan goals, and the questions for the survey, and then you can decide how you wanna modify it or change it or whatever.
And how much, do you have an idea how much funds are strictly for historical? Like the total funds that are in there?
I mean, every year we put aside, it's a 10%, but there's always undesignated funds. So if it was over that, then we would just go into the undesignated.
Mm.
So there's really not like a limit, like, oh, you can only use your share,
Yeah.
your 10%.
Mhm.
That's not how it works.
So in other words, first come, first serve.
Not really.
Not
Not really,
okay.
no.
Not really, those funds are there and we have quite a bit of
Mm.
funding in there and
Mhm.
it's not doing any good to the town, in my opinion,
Mm.
sitting in an account, so.
So we could get these inquiries and then at the next meeting figure out
Things that need to be
what,
done.
yeah, where the money should go.
Yeah, I'm
Is there
proud.
is there a possibility to get the list of all the historical buildings in Acushnet owned by Acushnet?
The only buildings in Acushnet that are historical is the museum, the meeting house,
And Perry Hill Church.
and Perry Hill Church, which is an old historic building.
Oh, you said the museum,
Yeah, Long Plain Museum,
Long Plain
Quaker
Museum.
Meeting House,
And where is, Long Plain Museum's on Main, isn't it?
on Main Street, 1203 Main,
Main,
and then the meeting house is at 1341 Main.
okay, that's the meeting house, and what was the other one?
Perry Hill Church,
Well, that's the one you're talking about
on
now.
Perry Hill Road.
Okay. Okay. And that's the only buildings that are owned by the town?
They're owned by the town.
All right, now, the other historical buildings in the town are all privately owned?
Which one?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
you got the library, that's a historic building, it was the schoolhouse.
Is that owned by the town?
Yeah, I believe that's owned by the town,
Mhm.
yeah. The Council on Aging,
Yeah, that's it.
that's owned by the town.
Well, doesn't that fall under these?
New library?
The new library, that was the school.
That was a school, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Council on Aging,
That was the school.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's a historic building. And of course, we got the old library over here, which something really needs to be done with that building before it falls apart,
Yeah.
I agree.
you know?
Or until somebody tears it down.
Mm. I don't know if you're familiar with this or not, but I'm told by the town that we cannot open the Quaker Meeting House because it's not up to code. And that's, I guess, you know, these buildings were built years and years ago. They have no bathrooms, they have no heat,
Right.
they have no running water, okay? Now I'm being told that the Quaker Meeting House, I used to open it once a year when I do the car shows up there.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
I'm told that we can't allow anybody in that building because it's not handicap accessible. And according to the state, can't open it. I don't understand
Yeah.
why.
That's a building
The
department.
building
That's
has
a building
never
code.
had a
I
bathroom.
don't know that, yeah.
Yeah, it's never had a bathroom. Okay? The Long Plain Museum is not handicap accessible. We don't have an elevator to go to the second floor. And the doorways, I don't believe, are wide enough for even a wheelchair. So why is it the state all of a sudden is saying these buildings cannot be opened?
Why can't there be an exception for the historical
There
buildings?
should be, there should be. I've inquired with the state and I'm not getting even a response from them.
No.
That doesn't surprise me.
I've got two gentlemen that I talked to through the state that usually give me the correct information and they're not responding.
You talked to our reps?
Arabs.
Our reps?
Reps.
No, I haven't called our reps. No. I've gotta do that. I'm gonna have to do something further.
But now, you open the museum? People go in the museum?
Oh, yeah, we had it
Well,
open
why
on
can they go in
Sunday.
the museum and not the meeting house?
Because the meeting house is not handicap accessible. But that's my
The
point.
museum's not.
Right, the museum is not handicap accessible. It's got bathrooms, it's got heat, if that makes the difference, I don't know. But I'm being told that I cannot open up the meeting house. And I don't understand, because when I had the car shows up there, people would go in on the first floor. I didn't even let them go on the second, just on the first floor to see how it's set up. Can't do that anymore.
So to avoid paying through the nose to get bathrooms in these buildings, we'd have to get clearance from the state to allow a historical building to pass on the requirements.
I had a conversation with the building inspector, and he says
Yeah,
that,
you're gonna put bathrooms in a building that is hardly used.
Well, I mean, if the,
I would say get a special permit for that once a year
if
use
if
it.
it's available, you know, otherwise, you know, what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
You gotta put
I
a
don't know.
I
bathroom
mean,
in
I
to
can
use
see
the
what I can
building, then
find
that's
out,
what you gotta
if you
do.
already spoke to
If
the
you-
building.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. Even Perry Hill Church, I mean, right now, we can't use that building. We're not even supposed to go in that building. But we do go in to check on it,
Yep.
you know, to make sure everything's okay inside, no leaks or whatever, you know, but we can't use that building
They did
either.
all the pews and everything over there.
They're all there, they've all been refinished. It breaks my heart with that building.
Well, I'll see what I can find out on my
See
end.
what-
I'll
see
get
what you
those
can
questions
find
to
out.
you and, you know.
I may have to call in help from our reps and see if they can find out what's going on with the state that they, you know. I don't understand it, because when Steve Gilmore was living, he had that meeting house open every solitary weekend.
Somebody didn't notice.
Somebody didn't care.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now they care. Kathy, thank you very much for your help. Okay, you can fax whatever you need to me and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
See what happens.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye
Yep,
now.
bye-bye. Okay, so, all right, that's Kathy. The only thing is, we did get, at town meeting, we did get the, everything approved through the CPC with the flagpole for the Perry Hill Park. And the fence for the museum, which will be going in shortly. The funds are not available until after July 1st. And the sign at Pardon Ways is being looked at through Old Colony, see if they can replace it, so we can save a few dollars. They, according to what Mr. Kelly told me, they're all digital. They've got this huge machine that's digital. And he said, you would not believe what they can do with that machine. I said, if they could replace that sign through a digital machine, do it. You know?
The robots are taking over.
Well,
Artificial intelligence, we don't need intelligence anymore.
no. Well, that would be a good thing for things like that, though, if they could. I don't.
How much money do they have in that CPA, do you know?
Well, every year it varies because they
But
get.
she said it's built up for the last few years, no? Or have they given it out every year?
What's
Well,
a
you-
ballpark figure?
You can go to CPC every year, but don't
50,000?
forget.
100,000?
I don't think total, maybe
Really?
total.
They
all
got that much
four.
money in there? And then nothing's being done to use it to replenish these buildings?
Well, I have to go to them, ask them. I go every year asking for money. I'm gonna get money one way or the other. So I go
Well,
every
these
year.
buildings that we can't use because of the state requirements, seems to me that if we could get the money from CPC, or whatever the hell it is,
Yeah, CPC.
CPC, to put these requirements in these buildings, if they got that kind of money, why not?
When I went to CPC and asked for money for Perry Hill Church, this year I had asked for money was for them to remove the flooring inside, remove all the benches out, and they gotta lift the floor and they gotta reinforce underneath at the church.
That's expensive.
Yeah. So I asked to use the money that's in the account now, 38,000, and I had 2 bids. One with the flooring and one without the flooring, because those guys had told me they were gonna supply all the wood. And CPC said to me, if you have $38,000 in that account, why don't you try to see about getting the bathrooms put in?
It seems to me the floor would have to be fixed before the bathrooms go in.
Well, no, because the bathrooms, we have to put in a different,
Pauline,
there's no room.
you know, I thought we discussed this a while back. There is no use for that church. I mean, it's an historical building, yes. I hate to see it destroyed
Right
or
away.
gone, but what is going to be the purpose of this thing once you put all this money into it?
Is that the one where there's no parking?
Yeah,
There's
very
no
little.
parking, there's
Very
no
little.
room for
So
septic.
that is something to look at.
It's not big, it's not a buildable lot.
So in other words, if we put all this money into the building, it doesn't make much sense because you can't really use it.
I mean, it's
Well,
a
you could
pretty
use it as
building.
a church, you wouldn't be able to
Well,
park
yeah.
on the street, which is another issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean,
We'd have to see about Mr. Gordon next door if he leases some land.
why put
to
the money
park.
into the building if we can't use it and the money might be better to use elsewhere? That's all I'm saying.
You know,
Like
I can
you
see
said.
your point, Paulie. I remember those bells ringing when I was a kid.
It's
when
still
they had
there.
services at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
We used to call it the farmers' church
yeah.
because all the farmers, you know, the local people used to go there.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's, well, I don't know what to
But
say.
I don't understand that. Why don't they want you to fix the floor before the bathrooms? Because if it goes on the register, do you have to put bathrooms in?
Oh, yeah.
The other one doesn't have bathrooms.
That's why we can't use it. I would have to have the
And
ramp
you gotta put in 3 bathrooms?
at the church. They said I have to have 3 bathrooms,
You have to have.
male,
those
female, and
Whatever happened
and-
to a unisex
Yeah,
bathroom?
why can't you put one for everybody?
that's what I said. And they said not a code. I talked to the building inspector, the one that's there now, and he went through the whole shebang with me on the phone. Okay, that's not the state of Massachusetts codes. That's what they have to go by, and that's what the code is saying.
Then we have
Calls
to find
for
out how to
3
get around the code.
Yeah, how?
Well,
It's
Well,
to the
there's gonna be a variance somewhere.
But even if you get around the code, what are you gonna do with that building once you get it all?
That's true.
The floor's short up and everything. I know, Pauline, I know you've been working for years on this, but to what end?
So what are they gonna do? Just let it sit there and rot away?
Well, this is
The thing is,
the other question I was gonna ask. If you're not gonna shore up the floors, you're not gonna do any more work in there, who's gonna maintain this building? It's a town building.
who maintains the museum and the meeting house?
Yeah, the CP.
It's me and my husband.
Well, yes, I
There's
know that.
nobody
No,
doing
but
anything
well,
there.
when it comes to the time you need a new paint job, a new roof.
Yeah, then you can come to the town and ask for money from the town
Okay,
to
so,
do it.
all right, so you're gonna have it's gonna be a pretty building, it's gonna be historical, but it's just gonna be there.
It's got a new roof,
Yes, I
all new
know
wood that was
I know
rough,
that.
because had a hole in the roof, okay? The siding is all new, newly painted. There's 3 steel doors on that building, all new. We had all the windows refurbished.
Right,
Remember
that
that?
was a great
So
job.
So
how
those
much money has
windows-
been dumped into this building already?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why
Well,
have they stopped now and we can't go any further?
well, why don't we think of just maintaining the exterior of the building and make it look pretty, but we can't use it anyway, why go any further than
Well,
that?
I would say fix that floor, because that to me is important.
But the thing is, Madeline, if you go inside the building and walk on that floor, there's only one space, one spot that it's soft. And
Yeah.
that's right in the front when you come in and then you go into the church part, right in the corner, because there's a board there that's rotted. You can walk all over that building. There's no soft spots. Okay? So the engineer that did the looking at the building underneath and everywhere else, I still say
Well, maybe
it
you
was
need somebody
ridiculous.
else to go back in and look at it to see if it needs what they're telling you.
I can't
Now,
use
how
any.
much is this gonna cost, the floor with the wood, without the wood? Did you get the,
Now you ask me. That was for CPC. It wasn't that much. I think with if I got the flooring free from them guys, I think it was like additional 15,000 on top of the 38 that we had in the account. It was like 40 some, and then I think it was like 60 some with all new flooring, new wood, everything.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, but that's a big job.
I
All the
understand.
pews have
Well,
to come out.
like he was saying, to what end? I mean, you can't use the damn place. You know,
it's too bad we couldn't have, like, people could go into these historical buildings on weekends or something. Tour them, like Fairhaven does. You know how they bring them around town?
I'm stopped. They shut me down.
See, Fairhaven's got everything kind of concentrated. You can do a
I ought to
walking
get,
tour.
what's his name, Mr. Richards?
Yeah, Chris.
I ought to get him on up here in the Acushnet to help me. He'd help me.
Yeah.
Oh,
sure
yeah, I'm
he
sure
would.
he would.
He
Because
might-
years ago, these buildings never had toilets, never had heating.
yeah, but that, like you said, you know,
It's the,
Well, now, all
the
those-
cost now.
All those buildings in Fairhaven, do they have bathrooms? Do they have?
I don't know.
It'd be worth it to call Mr. Richards and find out.
I know he opens it up. He opens
He
it up
gives
every
tours.
weekend.
My daughter went on a tour not long ago.
Yeah.
see
It was
if,
a
there-
nice
see if
tour.
there is a stipulation from the state that would give us a bypass.
Well, that's why Richard's got the point that I need to contact our reps
Mhm.
and see how I can get through to them. Maybe even Montigny, if he would help.
It's got, because the buildings aren't gonna be occupied, if anything, they're just gonna be
They're not
walked
gonna be
through.
occupied. You know, the meeting house, that's a beautiful building too. And that is in such a spot where you can go up there and spend a day there. It is so peaceful and so quiet. Yeah, it's amazing. Okay?
It's a Acushnet.
It's a Acushnet.
What it used to be anyways.
Have you got tables outside there? Any tables that you could go and eat? Picnic tables?
No, at the meeting house, no. There's tables on the back of the patio at the museum that belong to Morton. They're all stacked up on the back patio. But, like my kitchen, I had to get, I would go through all the paperwork every year for us to have apple peach in the kitchen. I have to go for the food handlers, which 5 of us did this year, got our food handlers permit. Then I get a packet from the Board of Health, forms that I've got to fill out. The day of the festival, they come in and inspect the building. I've already filled out all the paperwork. Then I got a second packet in the mail with some from the committee filling out. So I took them over to the Board of Health. I said, what's this? I said, I fill them out for you. The only thing I fill out for them is the paper that asks what we sell. And I put that all down on the paper. Coffee, tea, donuts, cobblers, shortcakes. I list everything that we sell, water. That's all on the paper. So nobody else can sell that stuff
Yeah.
there.
Give me
Only
that
us.
one day. I
So-
sold a bottle of water and I was told,
Oh,
"You
yeah.
do not sell water."
Yeah.
I come up and ask for water and I bring it for my help, you know.
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
she
But
told
no,
me.
that's how she cracks right down.
Yeah, okay.
So I filled that out, I took everything back to the Board of Health, and she said, well, this has gotta go to Sue. I said, well, how come it came in your packet? I said, I never get it in your packet. Sue sends it to me separately, and I fill it all out. So I've taken that all back. I've already got my permit for the kitchen. So I've got my, my food handlers, the permit, I got that hanging up. I got the one that you've got to do for people with allergies. There's a form you gotta do on the computer, I got that, and now I got the permit for the kitchen. So all of them are on the board already, down in the kitchen, ready, set to go. So the kitchen is all set. My water test, that was $155 this year. That went up, to have the lab come and test the water. So everything's a go.
If you own a business, you gotta do that once a month.
Really?
Yeah, if you test
If
the
you have
water.
well water.
If you have well water.
Oh, yeah? Wow. I go up there and I run it for about a good half hour before they come and test it. And sometimes you can get the smell like sulfur smell. But it tested okay, everything came back, the report came back. I took it to the Board of Health, so we're set, we're ready to go. And they asked me, don't you ever use that kitchen during the year? I said, not since I've been doing it. She said, oh, because years ago I thought they used to use that kitchen and for like, suppers or things like that they'd put on. I said, well, I don't know. I said, we don't. I said, we use it basically for
When
application.
they had the ham and bean supper, where was that?
Yeah,
Years
the
ago.
ham and bean.
Where
No,
was
that
that?
Wasn't that at the school?
I thought the first year they had it at the Grange, wasn't it?
I don't remember. A lot
At the
of years
Grange?
ago.
She does.
I'm talking about year one.
Oh,
When
the
they
ham
had,
and bean
they used to
supper.
have the dance.
yeah, we used to
the
have,
ham
we
and
used to go to
bean
the
supper.
school,
But originally,
cafeteria.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
Well, Jeremy Reed tells me,
originally I
yeah.
think it was at the Grange. They
Really?
had ham and bean supper, and then they had the dance.
Do they have a kitchen at the Grange?
Yeah, downstairs, I believe.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. They got stairs that go downstairs and goes to the kitchen. I don't know how new their kitchen is. I don't think they
But
do too much there now.
I want to say it might have been where the kennel club is now.
Oh,
in that
really?
building.
Oh, really?
I don't
'Cause I
I
remember.
don't remember.
Oh, I remember that one well.
I know
That
I
was the
heard at
first
the
one.
sheet they're gonna have the Queen again.
Yeah, yeah.
They're gonna do it again this year.
Yeah.
I don't know who's in charge of it, but they're gonna be doing it, so. But I don't know, I mean, I'm looking for more ideas of what you folks think that we should move forward with historical. Because, I mean, the museum and the meeting house, we keep on top of those two buildings all the time. And of course, we still have that.
They're beautiful buildings, and that's what I say about the church. It's a pretty building. You've spent so much money on that building already.
That's what I don't understand. Why do they refuse to do anything further when they've already put in, I would say at least 200,000.
Because really now, she said there's quite a bit of money in that account. And
But it's broken up into 4
Yeah, I know that.
categories. And it's not that much because I thought when we had the CPC meeting, I thought historical had up to 30,000. That was it. It all depends on how much they get from the state and what they collect from the town.
Yeah,
The
but
next
now-
step is to see what she's gonna send you, right?
She's gonna send me a lot of stuff, so we'll
Yeah.
have a lot of reading material.
Well, maybe you could send it to us, or no, or I don't know.
Yeah, if I got your emails, I can send it, I can copy it at home, and send it out. Because,
I mean, it sounds like a lot of information.
well, she's in the learning process too, because I don't think she's been on CPC too long. Like she keeps saying, I gotta look into it, I'll have to
Yeah, and I
check.
don't think there's too many on that committee either.
She said.
No,
nine.
there's
Did she-
only 5.
Did she say, I thought she said 9, or it's supposed to be 9.
It's supposed to be
Yeah.
9, and there's only 5. And the 5 that are there are new people.
So all this
because-
money's sitting there and they're doing nothing.
Well, I used some of it this year, that's for sure. I used,
But we don't know how much is available,
yeah, they tell you at the meeting.
what they do.
Oh, yeah, they tell you at the meeting. I was at the meeting with Mr. Kelly, the town administrator. So they let you know, what's available in each category. And I even say to myself, how come people don't come forward about housing? Because there's money there for housing. and nobody comes forward
Now,
to...
what do you mean housing? Anybody's house?
No, I think it would be like senior housing, something like that. Say a contractor came into town and want to put up some senior housing, they could probably go to CPC and get
But does
funding.
that senior place use that money over there?
They've come to CPC before.
Oh, yeah.
She's asked for money for different things.
They've used it.
But the one down there, Rivers End, you mean?
Like Rivers End, I was the one that got that historic district. That Rivers End Historic District now. In fact, our sign down there is all peeling away. I gotta see if I can get a can of paint and have David, the kid that cuts the grass, see if he'll go down there and paint it for me.
What sign is this?
It's a good sized sign, but it says Historic District
Where is it?
down at Rivers End. It's on that side of the bridge.
Across the street from Riverside, right?
Across the
Is
street?
it on,
Is it on the
East
side
side?
of Rivers then?
Yeah, if you go down this way, it's on this side.
oh, okay.
Right near the bridge part where the water is. It's there.
And your can of paint will fix it?
Yeah, 'cause it's a wooden frame. It needs painting because it's all peeling. But another thing too, I had tossing around, is Perry Hill District. That we could make that a historic district. Main Street, all the historic homes that are on Main Street, that could be made a historic district. You know, but there again, when you're doing things like this, you gotta get a preservationist to work with you. When we started,
And they make big money, huh?
well, they weren't, that's the problem. The state, they sent me a book, papers all stapled together with names of all preservationists around. You could call and see what they would charge, like to get the Perry Hill Church on the National Register. Then you could apply for grants, you know? And if you say you got $100,000 grant from the state, then you could come to CPC and ask them to match it. If they have the funds, if they have that much, you know?
Well, that would be, again, you gotta wait for this information that she's talking about. You know, she's,
I know.
like you just said, there's a lot of information she's gonna have to give us.
It's discouraging, let's put it that way. I get very discouraged and then I get angry. Because, you know, it's too bad. You're fighting for something all these years, since 2011, and here we are in 2023, and I'm not getting anywhere. You know? Like the next step is gonna be just tell the town, look, take it over, do whatever you have to do, and wash our hands of it.
The church?
Well,
I mean, what else are you
They'd
gonna
probably
do?
just sell them.
Oh, I don't
Although, I
know.
don't know,
You can't
that
sell
piece of land, can you build a house?
no,
They would have to convert that into a little house. Maybe then, if they were to do that, I don't know if they'd have a room for a septic tank.
no, first of all, as far as I'm concerned, the lots won't meet minimum requirements. You don't have enough room for septic. There's no, well, I guess you could put a driveway on one side.
Still no parking.
No, but I'm saying if you
If somebody
sold
was
it for
to buy it to
residence.
make a house,
I mean, make a house out of the
turn it out.
church.
You hear a lot of times, they
But-
take these old
Yeah,
churches
I agree.
and they make a
But the
small
lot's
house.
not big enough to support a septic system.
Well, you'd be surprised, in the backyard, there's quite an area in the back.
There is an area, but, well, it could be.
I mean, on the side, it's kinda narrow, both sides, but in the back, you got quite an
Yeah.
area there, you could
And
probably
they
put
have,
a
they have
tank.
septic systems designed for smaller
Yeah,
properties, so,
yeah.
yep.
And it depends on the bedrooms. In a size of the church, you'd be lucky if you could get 2 bedrooms
It
in
would
there.
take a certain, special individual to buy
Yeah,
that place.
yeah.
Yeah, well, right.
Yeah,
Make a home.
Yeah.
They've done it in Fairhaven.
Well, they've done it in a lot of places. You see
Yeah.
on programs on TV all the time. They,
oh yeah,
You know, these factories, blah, 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 they convert into homes, but
Yeah.
you gotta have money.
you gotta have money to do it, yeah.
I mean, let's face
Unless you
it,
can do a lot of the work itself.
even if you bought the church at a bargain, like you said, you got a septic, you had to put in a driveway, There's no bathrooms in there, right?
None.
You'd have to
There's no
get a
running water, no heat.
special permit or whatever to even
Have a house.
use it as a residence because of
But
the
it would
lot
be
size.
something to look into rather than let the building go to hell.
Well, I agree with you, but I can't see any purpose to that building right now. I know there's a lot of work and sweat and tears went into that building, but what's
It's true.
going to become of it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Especially if the town won't invest any more money in it.
Well, I don't know why. I mean, like I said, when I went to CPC, they said, why don't you look into the bathrooms and see if with the money you have, if you can do anything with the bathroom, then come back to us and then we'll help you out to go further. But when I called the building inspector, he says you're gonna have 3 bathrooms. And I said, where would you like me to put 3 bathrooms? There's not room for 1. You gotta put an addition.
Oh.
And he said 3 bathrooms? He said 1 bathroom is gonna cost you more than that 38,000. He said you're looking way over 100,000 for 3 toilets, 3 bathrooms.
Plus the septic system.
Yeah, 'cause he knows there's nothing there.
I mean, it's the same dilemma with the Russell Memorial Library. You know, it's a beautiful building, but what do you do with it?
And the thing is, that's got heat.
It's
'Cause they
got
use it.
heat,
It's got a
air
bathroom,
conditioning, bathroom, yeah.
and they still haven't done nothing.
Well, that building there, I think would be, the perfect thing to do there was even if the town has to give it away, sell it, let the contractor go in there, whoever buys it, have to deal with the bathrooms and the elevator, make it into offices. You know, you could make it into an office or
But-
a real estate company, you know what I mean, or something like that.
But then you gotta look into the fact that I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that building was donated to the town.
Well, that doesn't mean the town can't sell it.
Well, what are the stipulations?
Well, that would have to be in the charter
Yeah.
someplace in the
Whatever.
town.
He said that they've got the town, the attorneys looking into it.
Okay.
But there's something that's stopping it right now from going on the market.
Right.
They're working on it. So I don't know. I don't want to get into it anymore because I got enough.
Okay,
Yeah, I believe you, Paulie.
I got enough.
I agree with that.
Okay, next meeting, July 18th. Okay, and may I have a motion to, I forgot what I was going to say.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh.